Thank you. I'd like to start by acknowledging the custodians of Quandamooka country, which is the lovely place that I live on, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Well, as we know, FINA has protected women's rights in swimming, but also this week, Trump's big lie that he won the election also made headlines again. How on earth, in the face of concrete evidence, can that lie persist? Why are so many people convinced it is true? Why do many of our politicians in Queensland believe that trans women are women? One reason is that we live in post-truth times, which according to our favourite dictionary, the Oxford, means circumstances in which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion than appeals to emotion and personal belief. This means our politics and our media has less emphasis on truth and rational debate, to the point that they've become almost obsolete and deliberately silenced. It means we feminists are fighting a big misogynist lie. That is, humans can change their sex, and being born female is irrelevant to our oppression, our life chances, our safety and our well-being. It means that lawmakers and public servants can comfortably ignore the evidence we present of the harms and injustice to women and girls. Feeling-based gender identity and not evidence are now informing and dominating our laws about birth certificates and gender affirmation, as well as public policy in education and health. And to stay on the right side of the law, we are obliged to proclaim the belief that humans can change sex, despite the evidence of our very own bodies. In post-truth times, no debate is tolerated, which means a public pile-on and vilification of critics like J.K. Rowling to Linda Gale in The Greens, and thousands of online feminists and supporters like you people here. Post-truth is not just a deliberate lie, but the deliberate undermining of trust in science and in facts. And the classic example is the TRA, the trans rights activist legislative agenda that is enabled by the media, such as journalists of the ABC, when they say the science about the advantage of males in sport is flawed. The point of much of the proposed reforms for self-ID include this deliberate undermining and appeals to emotion and personal belief. So what is the point of the reforms when they want to do away with all diagnostic processes in order to change your birth certificate? The point of this change to the existing law is to embellish and naturalise that big misogynist lie, and consequently deny women and girls the right to challenge or evict males in their protected spaces. The point is to have many more males proving they have changed their sex and are legally entitled to female spaces. What is the point of the new law in lowering the age of adults from 18 to 16? The point is to treat 16-year-old children as adults so they can change their birth certificate without parental consent. In other words, solidify their identity earlier and earlier by removing parental safeguarding. The point is to also reinforce the conversion therapy laws that were passed here in 2020, which promote gender affirmation based on feelings. The point is to support the implementation of RAFPA's latest guidelines based on feelings of a gender identity for children. Those guidelines drop the age for cross-sex hormones from 16 to just 14, drop the age for breast amputation from 17 to 15, and drop the age for genital surgery from 18 to 17. What's the point of allowing you to change your details every 12 months instead of once in a lifetime? The point is to legally enforce and legitimise the spurious belief that gender is fluid, a truly contradictory personal belief. The current law requires a medical opinion that a transgender identity is deeply held and unchangeable. However, under the proposed reform, children to change their sex details must show consistent, unchangeable social transition, but the adults in this reform need not show consistent, unchangeable social transition. They can change every 12 months, which is a bit confusing. What is the point of changing language from sex to gender? For the baby, but also from mother to birth parent. Trans right activist politics needs new language to manipulate and obscure the material reality of our sex and obscure biological truths. Eliminating sex and sex language, like mother and father, does just that. While gender diverse people can opt in to choose any descriptor they like, provided it's not obscene, women will not get the chance to choose the word mother on the birth certificate. It will probably say birthing parent. The point of these reforms is to strengthen anti-discrimination laws and the Sex Discrimination Act, which remove the sex-based rights of women and girls by legally forcing them to accept a much greater number of males in their safe spaces. As a lesbian, these reforms remove my basic human right to freely associate with other same-sex women without any males present. In Queensland, an in-the-moment birth certificate of a male removes my crucial right and denies me the community essential to my well-being. The point of the reforms is to protect and promote the big misogynist lie to validate the in-the-moment identities of trans-identifying people. The point for us is to keep exposing and dismantling that big misogynist lie by joining with others and calling out politicians, public servants and lawyers, and by monitoring and intervening in the media that enable the lie to continue. The point for us is to act on Adrian Rich's wise words. In a world where language and naming are power, silence is oppression, is violence, and we won't stand for it. Thank you.